Yeah,
Yeah,
get down situation,
yeah.
get down. No doubt, 95.
We're talking 2000.
Wow, we represent. I'ma hit him with a little of this, and a little of that,
A little of
a little of this, and a little of that, a little of this, and a little of that, a little of this, and a little of that. Check it. I got the gumptions to make your conjunction function, so honey, get it straight.
So we are here with Kai SHINHOLSTER. You guys missed a lot of Howard inside jokes that I had with Kai. Rick don't know nothing about that, but you know the SHINHOLSTER boys have gotten the HBU experience at the highest level down there at Howard. They educate and party with the best of them down there at HU. So Kai, it's a shame I have to ask you this twice, but the people want to know. So how have you been?
This summer has been great. You know, playing with Kalo, my friends, I built great friendships and had great opportunities along the way. And then with my family, you know, my brother being back from college in the summer, I really enjoyed spending a lot of time with him and just getting closer with my family.
That's really good. You ain't had no job this summer?
I work a few basketball camps from here and there, like sometimes with my dad, and then I'm working one right now with Alvin Williams.
Rick, when you was a kid, did you work in the summer?
I did. Yes, I did.
What you doing, man? What you running over there, man? Marriott? What are you running? Ritz-Carlton? What are you doing? Why do I don't have a job, Rick?
Hey, kids are different now. The opportunities are different for these kids, man.
Nah, I get it. I totally get it because he has an opportunity to go ahead just the scholarship. And I know some of the schools that are recruiting him, the scholarship is probably pushing $300,000. Some of these schools are $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year. So no, I'm just kidding. But he wouldn't work if he was in my house either. He needs to go get that scholarship. So, Kai, you played for Kalo Elite, and I just want to give the audience a little bit of background on some of the guards that have come through that program in the recent years. We got Zy Harrison, who started off at St. Francis and has transferred. He's come to his sentence. He's transferred to an HBCU. Toppin down in Baltimore. You got Derek Simpson, who was just a very, very good Big Ten guard at Rutgers, starter as a sophomore, played a lot of minutes as a freshman. I probably been to about 12 or 13 of Derek's games at Rutgers. I'm a big Derek Simpson fan going way back. He's transferred to St. Joe's, so all the people in Philly, I think you're in for something special if you go watch St. Joe's this year. And then we have Justin Moore, who was a fabulous guard at Drexel. You know, one of the best rookies. He might have been rookie. Was he rookie of the year, Kai?
I'm not sure, but I know he was up there.
He was definitely all rookie. And he really was all league last year in the CAA. And so the big boys came and snatched him up. He jumped from the CAA to the A-10. I don't blame him. The opportunities are there. Kids don't have to sit out anymore. And those high mid-major and high major schools are paying these guys a lot of money. She really should have did that. Then we have Xavier Brown, who's really, by every account, one of the best freshman guards in the entire country last year. I think if you had to, right now, point your finger and just say, you know, who was the best guard as a freshman from our area in college last year, it would be X Brown. Over some of the guys who were really highly, highly decorated in high school, you know, McDonald's and Jordan Game and all of that. But when it came time to play in college, X was ready. And Billy handed him a lot of responsibility, and he dealt with it admirably. So that's a distinguished crew of Kalo guards right there. And I tease Lonnie and I tease Kyle. I'm trying to figure out what the secret sauce is over there to get guys ready to come in and play right away at the Division I level in the guard position. That's really tough for young guards to come in. What do you think has been the main reason that Kalo guards have been able to transition straight from high school to really conducting themselves very well at the Division I level?
I think it's the culture of the environment that we're in. From training camp at the very beginning of the AU season all the way to the last practice, there's a different culture in the Kalo gyms. 15U plays with 16U and 17U all practice together under one roof and under one coach for real. And I think that culture and that passion that everyone plays with under that roof just allows for everyone to maybe have a easier transition period into college basketball.
You're a Kalo lifer as far as high school AAU stuff is concerned. So which guys were still there when you first came in?
Players or coaches?
The guards that I just mentioned, who was still there when you first came in?
I know my first year, Derek and Justin were there, and then X was there too.
So you got to practice and see those guys up close. Did you anticipate them doing this well early in their college careers?
I knew they were going to do big things in college, but I don't think anyone really thought that they were going to have this great of a start to their college career.
Yeah, they really show up, man. So the logical question becomes, what you going to do as a freshman in college? Do you anticipate contributing right away like those guys?
I do. I think because I have the right people around me to help me make that jump a little easier. And I think if I get myself in the right situation, it won't be as hard.
Well, you got a really proud heritage to uphold, man. I'm just impressed. And I don't think people talk about that at all. You know, I've kind of ran with it a little bit on social media, and I always mention it to Lonnie and to Kyle. But I think that what Kalo has been doing, and I didn't even mention Wooga.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys have come into college and really held it down. So shout out to Kalo. They're doing a fantastic job with the guards and the wings down there. Now let's switch to high school a little bit. Along with Roman, Imhotep, Camden, Father Judge, ANC, Westtown, you guys will be at the top of all the local rankings entering into this year. Tell us a little bit about your high school team. I know it's changed significantly from when you were a sophomore to your junior year. Talk about that. And what do you expect to accomplish with this group this year?
Yeah, so it definitely was a change from my sophomore year to my junior year. I know my sophomore year, I still had my brother and a bunch of other great players in the class of 2023, like Mark Butler, Keith G, all of them. So I kind of was the little brother on that team and mainly was just focused on going out and pretty much just playing basketball. They made it very easy for me to learn and just play my role very well. And then this year, my junior year, taking that step to becoming a leader on and off the court was something that I had to deal with. Not really. It kind of became more than just basketball for me. I had to make sure the upcoming freshmen on our team were there on time and stuff like that, just taking that leader role. So it definitely was a change, but I feel like my coach Brandon, he pushed me to be that leader and helped me along the way. And then the culture of Penn Charter it's kind of completely changing almost. Like this past year and then this upcoming year, we have like almost a national schedule playing against like a bunch of other top powerhouses in the country. So it's definitely changing, and I think Coach Brandon is doing a good job of bringing in new guys and changing the environment to a more competitive environment.
I hear you and Jake West have a bunch of groupies. They said they got them waiting at the bus for you guys these days. Hey, Rick, is there any truth to this? I'm hearing that there's a lot of female fans following this Penn Charter basketball program around. Am I mistaken?
I mean, not really.
Not that I know of, Del. Not that I know.
Hey, man, these guys are TikTok, Instagram superstars, man. I hear it. Look, what everyone really wants to know, Kai, is what's going on with your basketball recruitment. As a sophomore, I talked to your dad since that time. You were scorching hot as a sophomore. like you said, I guess you didn't have a lot of, responsibilities other than, just go out there and play and make plays and get buckets. And those guys took care of all the leadership and all of that stuff. But then as a sophomore, you guys had to integrate some really super talented players into the team. And I could tell that you made it a point to make sure everyone was comfortable, that everyone had their opportunity to shine, and the main focus was on winning, which you guys managed to accomplish. But your recruiting, I think, cooled off just a little bit as a result of that. And now, more recently, I talked to your dad and I talked to a lot of college coaches. The heat is turning back up, fortunately. Where do things stand right now? Who has offered you a basketball scholarship? And do you have a timeline for your decision-making process?
So yeah, the recruitment process is going great right now. It definitely fell off a little bit during the season with my injury and all that, but after this AAU season, it's definitely picking back up, and I'm excited for it. I have I think about 14 or 15 D1 offers from
which conferences? We don't have to go through the whole thing, but where you have? You have Patriot League A10?
I have A10. I have an A10 offer. I have one SEC offer. I have Mississippi State.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I have, and then I have a bunch of other schools. I don't really know their conference, but a bunch of more mid-major schools.
Do you have any idea what SEC basketball, in terms of the crowd, the atmosphere, the athleticism, just, these guys are some gangsters and gorillas in that league, man. And even on the girls' side, I mean, you saw it with South Carolina and LSU and all of them. The SEC is known for super elite athleticism. Not really all polished. They're not out there running no real sophisticated sets and all. They just try to beat you up, dunk on you, block your shot, and get out of there with the win. Is that the kind of basketball you look forward to playing at the college level? Or, the Big Ten, on the other hand, is like almost like a sumo wrestling. I followed Donta and Hawk while they were in Maryland. I went to pretty much every home Big Ten game. So I could watch it. Those guys are just goons, man. You remember John Harrar from Penn State? You guys remember? He was a center, about 6'9", just strong. You got Zach Edey. You got guys like that, in that they're just big and strong. They don't jump as high and run as fast as the SEC guys, but they are super, super physical. Now the A10 and the Big East is, a little more free flowing. These guys get it up and down, and you see, and they have the best program over the last 2 years, bar none. In UConn. Is there a preference you have in terms of league or even geography, or even, I know you're an egghead and you're a geek and your GPA is 3.999 at Penn Charter and all that. Do you have Ivy League aspirations? Like, is there a preference in terms of the type of college you would like to attend?
There's not really a preference for me. I'm pretty much open to everything, but I know the strengths and the weaknesses of each conference, and I'm just looking forward to diving more into where I feel I would fit best.
It's the fact that St. Joe's was able to hold on to, well, his dad's on staff, but the fact that they were able to hold on to Xavier Brown in this current climate was amazing. I know for sure, if he were to enter that portal, enter free agency, there would have been a massive bidding war for his services, based off of his freshman year performance. As you can see, all the other guys that I mentioned, Wooga, Zaire, Justin, and Derek, all of them have transferred. That's kind of the norm now. There are some guys in Philly that have played at 4 different schools. It's a few. Hawk Bird played at 4 different schools, and he's at Utah Tech this year. I can think of a couple of more, but just not off the top of my head. When you get to college, this is a loaded question. I know your dad wants you to choose one, sit down, pick one, and graduate. But what do you think about the current climate and your situation?
I think the transfer portal is definitely beneficial for athletes now. But I don't know yet. Anything might change, but I do think of myself as someone who plays best when they're in a comfortable situation. And I don't really feel like it's best for me to keep moving around and switching around. So that way, by the time I get comfortable, boom, it's time for a new school. I feel like I would benefit most from going to a school and learning the ropes and growing there and then thriving.
Dad, you hear that answer, Dad?
I heard him.
Are you proud of him, man?
I am. None of it's rehearsed, man. That's all him, man.
Yeah, I normally give out the questions ahead of time, but I did not give you guys any heads up as to what I was going to ask. Dad, when you think about, I know you played, I know the older brother played. What's your assessment of where your son is at, what he's accomplished at the high school level thus far, how you see his senior year playing out, and what do you think he would fit in perhaps best? Which conference or level? And should he go to an academic school?
Right. I think with Kai, there's a number of things. He's a young 17. He's still young, man. He's still young. He's got some growing to do physically.
You're going to graduate at 17?
He's going to graduate at 18.
Just turning 18.
Yeah. He's about to turn. He hasn't turned 18. He's about to turn 18 in October. So he, all his life, he's always been playing with older players. And I think that's where he gets like a lot of his experience. And, he couldn't beat his brother for a long time and still can't beat him playing, So that his goal is that's his goal, to beat his brother. That's his goal. If he can beat his brother, he can beat anybody.
Stop. Facial expressions. Yo, Kai, that's some bullshit, ain't it, Kai?
Yeah, he can't beat him.
Capping and shit.
I think Kai last year he had a minor setback. First time he ever had like an injury. So he had to learn how to go through the adversities of the injury. He had to learn how to fit in with a new team. The second half of his high school career, I think Kai would be a good fit. I think Kai will be a good fit pretty much wherever he goes because I think his skill level is there. His skill level is there. His IQ is there. He's long. I think he's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, he's athletic enough.
Yeah, he's definitely athletic. Once he goes and he starts getting more muscle and put some pounds on, then I think that's going to really kind of catapult him to the next level. I just think for now we're in a situation where we're just trying to find the right fit for him, trying to figure out what's the right fit, whether it's mid-major, whether it's high major. We're just doing our due diligence, his mom and I, and including Kai. We're doing our research. We're checking resources. We're looking up different schools because we want to get the best of both worlds. We want to get the basketball aspect, and we also want to get the academics because we all know at the end of the day that ball stops bouncing, and when that ball stops bouncing, what do you have after that? So, and he understands that. So we're just going through the process right now, and then hopefully within the next few weeks, month or so, we'll kind of have a finger on which direction that we're going to move into.
You trying to make a decision before your high school season starts, or you gonna play a little bit in high school, Kai?
I'm trying to make my decision before the season starts.
Have you made any visits, official or unofficial?
Not yet, no.
You lunching, man. You get 5 as a junior and you get 5 as a senior. You get 10 of them.
Yeah,
and
no.
Dad, it's all expenses paid, man. What are we doing, man? Get out there.
We jumping in. We starting in August during that live period. August 1st, August 6th, and then after that, after August 21st, I think. So we want to get onto the campuses when the student body is there, so we can see.
If he goes before school starts, those 5 count against your junior year, don't they?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Find that out, because then he can take 10, you know?
Right.
You get 5 as a junior, 5 as a senior.
Okay.
I've been to football games in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Penn State. You know, yo, man, go take advantage. Take advantage. Some of the best meals I've had have been on these recruiting trips. Dad, describe Kai's game. When I watched him, I think he was just coming back off of the injury. What really surprised me was the intensity and the aggression with which he stuck his nose in there. You know, I didn't realize he likes to rebound. He likes to mix it up a little bit under there, and he's got great size for a guard. So is that something that you guys have always done? And, you know, when you were little, were you a good rebounder and that was a big part of your game? What's the deal?
I think I get my aggressiveness and rebounding and stuff like that just from, like my dad said, playing up and playing against older competition with my brother and all that. Like playing outside in the playground and then in the driveway, like they weren't giving me the ball. Like I had to go get it if I wanted it. So I think that just kind of carried over to my high school career. Describe
your son as a player, Rick.
I think that Kai, he's smooth. He has that smooth game. He doesn't allow people to speed him up. He plays at his own pace. I think he has very high IQ. He can see the floor. He can shoot it. One thing that he can score at all 3 levels. One thing
from deep, what's your 3 ball looking like, Kai?
I'm the best shooter in my house.
Imagine that, right?
Hey, I'm buying that, man.
I think he can score on all 3 levels. One part of his game that a lot of people, even pros, don't have. He has a nice mid-range game, you know. So he shoots the 3. He has a mid-range game, and he can get to the basket. He gets everyone involved. He's very, very unselfish.
What's his position?
I think he can be a point and he can be the 2.
You have a preference, Kai?
Not really. I like being on and off the ball. I think I can do both.
I
Some
think
of those mid majors will stick you out there at the 3. You know that they do that. Look at St. Joe's. They're gonna have Justin, Eric, and Derek. They're all guards.
Somebody
they all could be point guards.
Yeah.
And they're going to play together. Trust me, all 3 of them on the court all the time. So the
other thing we do with him, though, we talk to him about being more aggressive. You know,
offensively.
Yes, he can turn it on when he wants to turn it on. And when I say aggressive, it's just meaning making something happen. You don't necessarily have to shoot the ball, but just being aggressive and making something happen. So he does it in spurts. He does it here, does it there. You get a glimpse of it. Also, he takes a challenge on. I always tell him, guard the best guy. That's another challenge. You know, play the best guy on the other end. You know, see what you got.
How many of your teammates, how many guys on your team have Division I basketball offers, Kai?
On my Kalo team, I think it's 4.
On Penn Charter. Gilhole, right? He got his final 5 out of 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
All high majors, right?
Yeah.
Jake West got multiple, some high major offers as well. You have multiple, some high majors. Anybody else got Division I offers on that team?
No, just us.
3 D1 guys, each with high major offers? You shouldn't lose a fucking game, man. Am I wrong, Rick?
You're right. You're right. You're right. You are exactly right.
The expectations are going to be enormous. And, you know, if you guys can go play, I saw some Georgia Tech, Providence, Minnesota, places like that, you damn sure should be able to win right around here, right?
Yes, sir.
So we running the table then, right? That's what we doing, guys?
Yes, sir.
Well, look, man, it's always really good catching up with you guys, Kai. I really want to thank both of you for taking the time to talk with me today. And I will be following Penn Charter basketball very, very closely this year. And the primary reason is because I want to see what Kai Shinholster is going to do. Now, I got you, man. I think you fall right in, Wooga, and Justin, and Xavier, and Derek. I think you fit right in there very, very nicely, which would make you one of, if not the best guard in the area.
Yes,
Am I alive?
No, sir.
I love this, man. I love it. I appreciate you guys, man. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
Right.